We're moving on to the next wine, Ferratus AO.
AO.
Do you know what the AO stands for?
I don't. This is a very, very young winery and very, very forward-thinking. It's located only a few miles from the Torre Milanos, further on the north side of Ribera del Duero. And family-run operation. Cuevas Jimenez is the family name. The winemaker's name is Benigno Garuda, who is doing a phenomenal job. But the real talent here at Ferratus is their daughter, Maria Luisa Cuevas Jimenez, who was a lawyer and has come back to help.
Easy for you to say.
Yeah, there we go. Come back to help her father and brother run the winery with a lot of new ideas, new concepts, thinking outside the box. This is going to have very low distribution in the States. They just got here like within the last year. It literally just landed.
Yeah, this is new for me.
New for everybody.
Very nice package, well designed.
Beautifully packaged. They have a great website. If you Google Ferratus, you should be able to find it. Beautiful pictures of the winery and some of the story that goes with it. Now this one, they're working very much handwork. Old vines, almost everything is goblet. I don't think they have any trellis vines at all.
So goblet
like this, bush vines.
Bush vines, no wires, no lines, no rows.
Which until the
Plants.
18th century was what everyone was doing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it was considered this, I guess it was the first guys in Rioja that brought in the trellis, and they had stepped over the line and just ruined winemaking forever by introducing trellises.
Every generation has their
thing. I know in La Mancha, up until 10 years ago, you couldn't blend anything. It had to be single varietals, or you were ostracized from society. You were bad. So they're working with old vines. They have a lot of plots that they own or operate around within Burgos, even around La Hora and some of the great villages. La Hora is where Pingas sources, Alto source a lot of fruit from there, and including their clippings. It's one of the greatest wine villages, and it's tiny. It's like 50 people, if that many, in the middle of nowhere in Duero, but several other villages. They do hand selection twice, in the vineyard and again on the sorting table when they bring it in. Malolactic is done in barrel. This, I don't know, the sheet I got on it says it's 2012, which says there's a little American oak use in it. The website and the bottle all say 100% French.
I don't get any American oak on the nose. I get you get French oak immediately.
I would say it's used oak at that. Most winemakers, they will use different levels of oak. Of course, oak first year you've got a lot of flavor, then less for the next 3 years until it's used. A lot of winemakers will only use second and third year because they don't want that impact of brand new oak impacting the wine and hitting it hard. They're doing phenomenal work here. Her wines are very, very vintage specific.
This is a fascinating wine.
Yeah,
I have never tried this wine before, and in all honesty, from the nose, from the packaging, I was expecting something a little slicker, for lack of a better term, and it has just a tremendous amount of character, a little bit glossy and and matte in the mouth. And
this is.
I mean, I was expecting soft, voluptuous tannins, and I was expecting
overripe.
More, yes,
yeah,
or that,
yeah,
or that.
No, she's keeping the acid level really, really good. Acid is the one thing a lot of American wines, and I'm not bashing American wines, but they tend to over-ripen, and you lose the acidity in favor of all this big, fleshy fruit.
I think it's an international phenomenon at this point.
It's international style, yeah. And she's not. She's going the other direction. They make better food wines with this acid level and this, because the fruit is there. And this is perfect temperature, by the way. You've got a really great temperature on it, so the alcohol's not too high.
Just to let you know, the red wines sit in front of the air conditioner. That's my trick.
Yeah.
Air conditioner's on 66, and I put the wines in front of them.
That's all you have to do, that or stick them in the refrigerator for about 8 to 10 minutes just to knock that cool off, because otherwise the alcohol is going to be too high. I did a big tasting for Benny's in Chicago on Saturday. We iced everything because we were outdoors, and that kept them at the perfect temperature for tasting outdoors in the heat, keeping them nice and cool, and keeping the alcohol from being too high. AO stands for acero. Somebody's been here.
I don't know what acero means.
Acero. It's a Spanish word, which my Spanish is terrible.
We're getting a live feed for steel.
Steel. Iron steel. Ferratus originally meant in Spanish iron steel.
Oh.
So that was it's where that word comes from. Of course, now they're talking about F for fabulous and F for festive and a lot of other things to make that F go with. It's an incredible wine. It's a great idea. This one's coming as a Roble, meaning it's had about 6 months of oak aging.
Is that written anywhere?
It's not. They're leaving themselves open. It says Cosecho, which is the general label. They're not claiming Roble, because once you claim to be a Roble or a Crianza or a Reserva, you're stuck.
And exactly. Just the difference basically is Roble means oak. If you are a Joven or a Constantia, you can do wood.
Pretty much whatever
you can do not wood.
For example, a Crianza is a minimum of 2 years aging, 1 year in barrel. You cannot fudge down. You can fudge up. You could do 23 months in barrel, 1 month in bottle. You could not do 11. So if you're tasting that wine and it's ready at 11 months, but you have a Crianza label that you have spoken about, you are stuck to leave it in that extra month.
Does that mean anything to you?
Lechazo, that means nothing to me whatsoever.
I don't know what Lechazo is.
Yes.
So somebody's confusing us. But anyway, back to the wine. I find this to be a very impressive wine. It's got a tremendous amount of structure hidden in there. I mean, I'm a tannin freak. I love tannins, but I like this kind of. They're not coarse, but they're angular. Mm-hmm. They're food tannins. They'll fit together with something else.
There's phenomenal elegance to this wine, and despite the French oak, I would not necessarily call it a feminine wine.
Oh no.
It's got some body and some oomph and some hit to it, but it's not
shot putter maybe.
An Eastern shot putter. I don't know if I go that far.
Maybe not that far.
A female shot putter. I'm not sure I go to the male shot putter.
We would go to the East German. Well, I was talking about the women from the East German team.
It's got a lot of structure and a lot of strength. It's going to hold up to a lot of foods. Great for summer. This could be chilled down as well. This could go down to 60 degrees without any problem whatsoever.
Great for barbecues.
Price on
this is stupid sauces on it.
Stupid sauces, exactly. Between $19 and $22 on this. There are Robles that will go as low as $10. And you can find them across the board. And when you see that word Roble, that just means oak. It's an aging term.
They also use Barrica.
Barrica, right? 6 meses in Barrica, you'll see that a lot, meaning 6 months in oak. Is basically what that comes across.
So you can spend less, but you're not going to get a wine of this character.
No, this character and quality. You'll be hard-pressed to find a Roble of this character and quality. The Robles they're meant to be drunk young. They're meant to be drunk bright and pretty. The other is lamb. Well, of course, you should have told me lamb. Lamb is, like I said, lamb is one of the main products there. And lamb and Tempranillo.
Do they have goat there?
They have goat. Not as much goat, but some goat.
I would love goat with this. Goat's a little fattier, a little gamier.
Goat. You know how much trouble goats are to grow?
As
they say, if water will go there, so will a goat. The fences you need for goats are just...
That part, yes.
They'll kill you.
It's easy to grow them. It's hard to catch them.
It's hard to catch them. And they will eat everything, especially we tried goats on the farm. They will eat everything that you don't want them to eat first.
If you had goats, this would be the vineyard in the summertime.
That would be the vineyard, yeah. They would take everything off. I love this wine.
I'm very impressed with this wine. This is, and also it's a wine that hits me on many levels because it's also fun to drink. It's not cloying. It's not heavy, and it's even with this 5 minutes we've had in the glass. It's developing. It's showing different facets. And then on the flip side, for $22, it's a fairly serious.
It's a serious wine.
You give this to a wine geek, and they can geek out on it. You give it to my brother; he would enjoy this as well, which is a beautiful thing.